It's just great to see all of you via this wonderful method of technology that we have here called Zoom. As you know, Bart and Melissa, your fearless leaders, are in Sydney or on the train just a few moments ago on their way to an event. So they've asked me to sit in today, and I'm happy to do that to try to facilitate this call that's become a regular for you folks on your Saturday morning down under. So this is part of your burst program that is a focused season of activity for most of you for the next several weeks. And those of you that are just tuning in, listening in as part of the gallery, I want you to see who your panelists are. We got Mr. Stevie Aquilina, who's our tech guru, as well as one of our absolute business builders. We've got Daya Nyloff, who's on my screen in the upper right, and we'll say a little bit more about Daya in a few seconds. We got Maria Hopwood. Hi, Maria. It's great to see you. I love seeing your stuff on Facebook from time to time. And we got super recruiters Tom and Mel Croucher right in the middle of my screen, and they're just. And where's the birthday girl? She's right there with you. There's the birthday girl. Happy birthday yesterday or day before yesterday for you. So what a cutie. She's an ASEA. She's a miracle molecule right there. And we got Danny Doyle, who's one of your leaders, Double Diamond, who happens to be in my end of the world right now, just south of me down I-95 a little ways, Interstate 95, and was one of his leaders in the Tampa Clearwater area. And we got Sept and Jessica that are on my screen in the lower left, just great folks that, Noosa, right? Is that where you guys are? Or some island off the coast of Noosa, or somewhere, a treehouse somewhere? I don't know.
Treehouse on the North Shore.
Treehouse on the North Shore. Lorene Bavart, Wonder Woman herself in Melbourne. Is Melbourne, not Melbourne. It's Melbourne, right? Yeah. You're muted, but I read your lips. I think I got it right.
You got it right.
Okay. Great to see Lorene on. And Mr. John Allen. Something's tasting good there, John. I don't know what it is. But great to see you guys, all of you. My little dog wants me to take her out. Wait, you have to wait, Sophie. Just wait. So we've got several things we want to cover today. But first of all, we got a guest speaker on that I'm very excited to introduce to you and have you get a chance to hear from, I think, one of the brightest minds, one of the most articulate voices in all of ASEA. Dr. David Silverman is from just up the road from where I live here on the East Coast. He's from the Baltimore, Maryland area, Washington, D.C. area. David and I actually crossed paths probably, I don't know, 15 years ago, something like that. And we were completely, and we still are completely disconnected in any business affiliation. But I've always admired David's, his commitment, his leadership, his expertise. Let me tell you a bit about him. He's a Triple Diamond, first of all, Triple Diamond with ASEA. He's got 20 years experience in this industry. He's a doctor of podiatry medicine. He's got his DPM degree from William M. Scholl College of Podiatric Medicine and postgraduate training at New York College of Podiatric Medicine. He's a member of the American Podiatric Medical Association, the Maryland Podiatric Medical Association, the American Academy of Podiatric Sports Medicine. He's a diplomat of American College of Foot Surgery and American Board of Podiatric Orthopedics. These are big words, David. I don't usually use these words. But he's also a great voice of medical expertise because he's part of the medical panel or the medical advisory board, whatever the exact term is, for ASEA. And I get a chance because we kind of progress up the ASEA tree. We intersect up a couple branches, and so we're together on a conference call every week. And I've just learned to appreciate David's his ability to analyze, his input, his leadership, and the cross-line ethic that he embraces, which is proof the fact that he's even on this call because he's not connected in any way. But it's just a pleasure to have you on, Dave. Are you there? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Ed. Can you hear me okay, or should I take the video off?
We can hear you fine. Can hear you fine. I'm looking for you. I don't even see you on mine. Oh, there you are. There you are. I'll have to scroll the screen. Who did I miss? I met Carmel. I see you're on there. I missed. I was off the screen. Didn't scroll over far enough. Good to have you. Are you still in India, Carmel? I don't know. I've been following you. I've been stalking you. But anyway, back to you, David. Welcome to this call. This is some of the finest people in all of ASEA right here, David. Most of them in Australia. I don't know if you have any New Zealanders on, but these are folks that are really anchoring that part of the world. And great to have you on today.
I'm thrilled to be here, Ed. And listen, when we speak, if for some reason I'm on my cell phone visiting my daughter up at college, and it may not be enough bandwidth, if I'm speaking and I'm breaking up, wave, and I'll just turn my camera off, and we'll have better sound. Okay.
Perfectly clear right there. So we'll stay on top of that. But what I'd really like for you to do, Dave, and some of us perhaps have heard you from time to time on a charge-up call or in some other way. Go back, if you would, and just kind of give us why ASEA for you. How did you kind of come into this tent called ASEA from your background and your perspective?
I just want to just state first that how much I respect you since we've known each other for, good Lord, since the late 90s we've known each other. And we, as you said, we never really are on the same team, but we are on the same team, especially in ASEA. And I have to also just tip my hat to Danny and all the leaders down there in Australia. You guys are really, you command a lot of respect for what you've done. You guys have built the business even before you had the drink, just the gel. And the whole world is really impressed by what's going on down there. And so am I. In fact, my daughter's going to be down there for a semester next semester. So I'll be coming down. I'll get to see more. I've met some of you at convention. But just want to tell you that. I'm very, very honored to be here. Bart and Melissa asked me to be here, and I'm very happy to be here. I shot that 6 minute, 6 reasons video, and I see the metrics on that, and I see which countries watch it the most. I don't even have downline in Australia, and it's the #3 country in the world that uses it and watches it, which makes me feel good. It's like I did that generically just to kind of help people, share it with people that they know, and I'm glad you're getting use out of it. I initially was introduced to ASEA because my friend Debbie Wetzler brought it to me, and my primary reason for looking at it was my father was sick with a prostate problem. So, whatever gets someone in the door looking at it and not ignoring it is all we want. But what attracted me to the business side of this, because I know you're in the middle of a 90-day burst. We just started ours too here. What attracted me to the business and what made it kind of like what we call here a no-brainer, I don't know if you say the same thing there, it was just a very simple decision for me to leave the company that I was with to go here, was a combination of things. Number one, of course, is the product. We've got a product that is miraculous, changes lives, saves lives, and then it does all the other fun things, makes us all look younger, which is great. But an amazing product that's a humanity breakthrough. The fact that it's safe and it works and it's universally effective, that's number one. Number two is it's patented. So it's not like a juice where someone else is going to have it. We control it. So I didn't want to build something that was going to go away. So it's patented. 3 is the leadership and integrity of the corporation itself. It's a very unique situation to have people like this running a network marketing company. A lot of people they're good network marketing companies, but there are a lot that are run by greed and just not run for the right reasons. And the integrity really started with Virtus, saying no to the pharmaceutical company, and it trickles down. We all know this in companies, whatever it is, it trickles down from the top. You have to have integrity at the top. And the last reason, was and is the timing. To know about this, everything I just said a minute ago, to know about all that before virtually everybody else in the world is incredibly fortuitous. We are so lucky to know about it. We haven't even begun. I think there's 205 or 10,000 people in the world in this product. There's 7 billion people on the planet. They have no idea it's coming. We know it's coming. They don't know it's coming. So those are the reasons why I engaged in it. As far as network marketing, I like helping people. I think health is amazing. The human body is amazing. And I want to make money. I like making money. I have no problem with that. But I like making residual income. And so that's why I decided to engage in the business side of this, Ed.
Let me mute it. Okay. And I've heard that story, and to me, it's just it's, as a non-medical person, to have someone with your expertise and your education look at this and embrace it. And I quote you every presentation I do, because I think you're the guy who said, if this was a drug, it would be deemed the greatest drug of all time. And to me, it's a huge statement, but you're qualified to make a statement like that more so than I am. So I leverage you all the time. Any particular pointers you would have for the folks that are on this team that are employing the burst program right now? This is something that you've done repeatedly. I think you would readily say the fact that your team has embraced this focused seasons of activity is the reason why you're Triple Diamond today. And we got folks on this call that are obviously committed to moving on up the ladder and getting to the Diamond Summit themselves. So how has a program like this played into where you are today, and what kind of pointers can you emphasize to these folks?
Well, my philosophy in this business has been this from the beginning. It's been, as we build a business, we run with the runners, we walk with the walkers, and we just stop with the stoppers. And the stoppers are people that just complain and they don't commit to get better at what they're doing. They do it their own way. They quit. Like, okay, quit. It's fine if you quit. I feel badly for you because you told me you want financial freedom, but they're not coachable. They're not motivated. So we just stop with them. And the people that want to walk and do a little bit, we walk with them. We help them walk. But all the time we're looking for runners. If we bring in a runner, we run with them. If they want to run, we really focus on them. If a walker introduces us to a runner, then guess what? We're going to run with the runner. We'll keep walking with the walker. What the 90-day burst does is it gives us a 90-day period where people that want to run but can't run all year, it's exhausting, but for 90 days, they're going to focus on their business. They're going to make some sacrifices. They're not going to go, to baseball games or soccer games. They're not going to, go out to dinner as often. They are going to focus for 90 days and create a burst of activity, bring in a lot of new people because it's a numbers game. I mean, you have to bring in a good number of people to find the number of people who are going to see it like you or lead you to people that see it like you, that really want to do something. And so you can't run hard for 365 days a year, but you can run for 90 days, once or twice a year. And what you do is you bring in a lot of new people, and then you can kind of go into more management mode. You're still bringing in people, but then you're working with your people because of what you did in those 90 days. And I tell my people, and I'm not sure what you tell your people, but I'll say, look, if you want to be a Triple Diamond, the numbers are going to tell you that you're going to bring in somewhere between 50 and 100 people yourself. To think you're going to bring in 10, it's kind of you're deluding yourself because, and there is one person in the business that brought in 15 people and she's a Triple Diamond, 15. That's Rosemary Skinner. But that's unusual. If you're bringing in network marketers, you may bring in less. I didn't bring in many network marketers. So I brought in about 100 people myself personally, but it boiled down to enough people that were walking and running to create a very high, very significant six-figure income, which my goal is by the end of next year to be like Denny and Trish and be into the seven figures by the end of next year. So the burst of activity and having people do it along with you at the same time, there's a synergy. There's an energy as opposed to just, I'm going to run for these 90 days. If you're running with a group of peers, of colleagues, and you have the attention and support of your upline like Ed and Bart and Melissa and Danny and everybody, there's something about it. And the ones that don't do it, they kind of miss a little bit. I mean, they miss out on it. When we do our bursts, and let's say 80 people in my group say they're going to do it, I know, unfortunately, that a chunk of them are going to fall out. A lot of them have really great intentions. yes, 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 I'm doing it. And they have their assignments of what they're going to do, which means make a to-do list for tomorrow. You're going to call a certain number of people. You're going to follow up. And they start really strong, but then they kind of just fade away. And I know that happens. I mean, as I say, we look for the runners, the people that want to run. And this is a program for people that want to run for 90 days. I can just tell you that it is very, very effective for people that take it seriously. And it's not like you're going to be perfect in it. I tell people there's 2 goals here. One is to bring in a lot of people, and 3 is to get better at doing this business. You know, you're not going to bring in as many people as you want to probably, but you'll bring in a lot more than if you weren't doing the burst. And you will also get better at doing this. And we're also looking to identify leaders in our business. So in 90 days, a lot can be accomplished, and that's why we do the burst.
That's perfect. I'd like to just see if some of the folks that are on some of the panels, especially, might have a question or two that they want to direct your way. And guys, here's a chance to pick the brain of somebody who's proven it and is continuing to prove it, building a team. So if you got anything you'd like to kind of ask of him, here's the guy he's one of the premier docs on the whole ASEA Global team, and he's here. So any questions?
I've got a question, Ed. Yeah, I've got one.
Well, hold on.
Hey, David. David, how you going?
Hang on. What's that, David?
I was like, don't pick too much of my brain. There's not much left, but go ahead.
I won't, I promise. We often hear how important the daily action plan is.
Yeah.
But I want to know from our leaders, what is your daily action plan? What does it involve and what does it entail? So what can I add in and what can I drop out maybe? Well,
it depends on where you are in your business, right? So even in a daily action plan on a 90-day burst, it'll be different than like I say, you go into a little bit more management and helping people in your organization go deeper when the burst is over. You're still recruiting, but not with this fever, because when you're building a business, until you have your leaders, your number one job is to bring in people, and three-way phone calls with the people under you, so that if they're walking with it and not really working hard, but if they do three-way phone calls with you, then you know who's down there, because there are good people that come in that die down there because nobody good went down and said, let me help you. You know what I mean? So yes. My daily activity list at the point that I'm in is going to be very different than someone who hasn't found their leaders yet, right? Because I've got an organization, and maybe I'm not launching someone who I brought in. It could be somebody 4 levels down from me. I'm going to put time into that. But I will tell you, are you in the building mode right now? What level are you right now?
Platinum.
All right, so you're platinum. That's great. So how many Director 300 legs do you have qualifying each week?
Every week, it'll be 5 or 6.
That's fantastic. That's great. So I'll tell you that you really want to shoot to have probably 11 or 12 Director 300 legs, right? And qualifying. So you still, you probably need to go wider. I don't know. Do you have gold, silvers, gold, platinums in those legs, or not yet?
Have golds, yeah, definitely, and silvers, definitely, yeah.
Then you have a very good business. That's a good business. But the daily, I'm just getting a little snapshot of where you are. You're still going to recruit people at this point while you're getting some leaders. Maybe you don't want to recruit everybody. Maybe you're being a little more selective on who you're recruiting, because when you bring in somebody, they're going to take your time. And if you bring somebody who is very needy and help me, instead of, hey, is it Lorene?
Yes, it is. Yep.
So Lorene, you want someone to say, Lorene, hey, I want you to show me what to do. And then I want you to get out of my way because I'm going to go faster than you. And you get to the point where that's where I am. I don't want to bring in everybody anymore because it takes my time away. I'm responsible for training them. It takes my time away from people like you who are in my business, where you're like, David, I've got a horse that wants to run. Come help me. But it sounds like you've got a great business. Brand new people, I tell them, Your focus is to bring in people, your daily activities. And we have a to-do list on ours where there's like a few given to-dos during the burst. Listen to the charge up call, read GoPro or Think and Grow Rich a little bit every day, read your why, and then make your to-do list for the next day. And then you've got blank spots to fill in where it's like, okay, how many phone calls am I making? Who do I need to follow up with? Who in my organization is having an in-home? How many people am I going to get to the webinar tonight? Those types of things. But the number one activity for people in a burst that don't have a solid business is to bring in new people.
Fantastic. Thanks, David.
You bet, Lorraine.
This is
David, let me just say, this is also in the A-Left acronym. Today's call has to have a little bit of a focus on follow-up. So if you've got any specific thoughts about follow-up, but I also want to keep it open to whoever else might have a question for you too.
Yeah, thanks.
Well,
this is Stevie here. I just want to let the Master Mal Sword there know that I've promoted him to a panelist, just so you're aware, since you couldn't get on properly. Dr. Silverman, thanks so much for jumping on today. I know that you're busy traveling there, visiting your daughter, so I really appreciate you and your time. I've always been a avid listener and follower of you. But we had on the previous call to last, we had one of the master motivators and wordsmiths there, Mr. Ed Wiens, talk about attitude. And then we had the very inspirational and beautiful Denny Robinson last call talk about the invite. So I was wondering if it would be okay with you, Dr. Silverman, if you could just give us a few of your thoughts on the follow-up process.
Absolutely, Stevie. Thank you so much. I really appreciate those kind words. Yeah, follow-up is they say the fortunes in the follow-up, and it's true, because if you introduce this to people and you don't follow up, then it was a waste of time making the introduction. And what I find is that sometimes people will get very motivated one day and they'll get excited. They'll make a phone call. They have success. They call 10 people and they create the interest. They're real good at creating an interest, but they don't do the follow-up. And to me, it's a complete waste of time to do it. Number one, these people lose interest if you don't follow up right away. Number two, if you get really good at creating the interest, that initial step, then it makes the follow-up a lot easier. Because what happens is a lot of people will create the interest one day, and then the next day they're busy in their life and they don't follow up. And then I'll do it the next day, and then I'll do it the next day. And you lose them. I mean, you totally lose them. And you're modeling behavior for these people also. The people you introduce it to, I want her to keep that off if you don't mind, because the noise. Okay, sweetheart. Okay. You're taking the dog to eat? Excuse me. I'm sorry, guys. So you're modeling for these prospects on how you do this business, because once they say, hey, I want to get in, what do I do? They're going to remember what you did with them. If you teach them what to do and they say, that's not what you did with me, they're going to do whatever you did with them. And if you did it in a way that really has a very low success rate, then you're going to have a very anemic downline. They're going to duplicate bad things. So if you get good at the initial step, the follow-up's easy. And what I mean by that is you create the interest, whatever video you're going to use, if it's 6 reasons or whatever it is, you are setting a time for a follow-up. You set the time for the follow-up when you make the introduction. That's what I do, because I want to walk away saying, okay, I'll send you the video. What's a good time for the follow-up? And I'll tell them also, one of the reasons people won't pick up the phone when you follow up is because they went to the internet. They got excited by the video, and then they Google search. And I've always said Google is a search engine, not a research engine. And they see these sites saying it's just salt water, it's a pyramid scam. Well, for me, I want to have the best, assure the best chance that they're going to answer the phone when I call. And I do it as a 3-way phone call, actually. But before I say goodbye to them initially and say, I'll call you at 3 o'clock tomorrow. And listen, by the way, you mentioned to me that you might be interested in this because your mother's sick or because of your arthritis or because you're looking for an opportunity. When we talk tomorrow, I'd say I was talking to you, Stevie. When we talk tomorrow, I want you to be blunt. I want you to ask me every question you have. There's two too important. There's too much at stake for you for you to be shy and not be blunt. Because when I looked at this, Stevie, my friend brought it to me. I trusted her, like I hope you trust me. And she told me what happened with her mother, with her problems and herself. So I trusted her. And when I went to look at the information, I watched the videos she sent me. I was fascinated. But then I Googled and I saw amazing stories. But then I saw these sites saying it was just salt water. Let me tell you something. These sites, the people that do say this, they have another agenda. They're either trying to sell something else, or I researched that they're tied to pharmaceutical companies. So if you see anything that sounds too good to be true, just tomorrow at 3 o'clock, will you promise to be blunt with me with your questions? So I've set it up so that my follow-up, I'm trying to make sure they pick up the phone for the follow-up, and I'm hitting the questions ahead of time without being defensive. You know what I mean? And then when I follow up, I like to have a third party on the line. You know, for important prospects anyway, I like to have third-party validation. Not always the first time, but very often I do. But without follow-up, it's, like I say, people can get in a real excited mode, and they call a lot of people, but if they don't follow up, it was a waste of time.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I took some really brilliant notes from that. Thank you, Dr. Silverman.
You bet. And Stevie, call me David. You can call me Dr. Silverman when you introduce me to your guests and new associates at the convention, but just call me David, please.
Thanks, David. You can call me anything you want, just don't call me late for dinner.
It's breakfast time there or something, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
Hey, David. Hi, Dave. This is Sept here. Thank you. We share your 6 reasons with everybody. We really appreciate you. And I do have a question. You mentioned just at the end of sharing that with Stevie, what's your protocol that works for you in the 3-way process? Because different people have different takes on it, and I respect where you are in the business, how long you've been at it, and it would certainly help everybody on this call just to see how you approach a 3-way phone call in that scenario.
So there's 2 approaches on 3 ways. The prospect knows you're going to have somebody on the line, and the prospect does not, correct?
Yep.
So my attitude is I'd rather have them not know. That's my preference, and I'll tell you why. Because if you say I'm going to have someone on the line with me that knows more about it, and they say, no, I don't want to talk to anybody else except for you, then you're stuck. You can't get the third-party validation, and third-party validation is pretty important. So then the other option is don't tell them someone's going to be on the line, right? And then the problem is most people will feel like, I don't want to surprise my friend. That's rude. I don't want to just, they're going to feel like they're being ambushed. It's not being honest. So then the question is, the question is, how can I introduce a third party on this phone conversation without offending my friend, right?
Yeah.
So, and what I train people to do is, and this is just my philosophy, because you can do it either way. You can do it where they know it's on or where they don't know it's on. This is just my feeling. I want that third-party validation. And if I don't get it, then I may lose that person. But I don't want the phone call to be offensive to the prospect. So if it's offensive, they're never going to do 3-way phone calls, right? If you offend them, even if they get in, they'll remember it was a bad experience. So I want the phone call to go well. And the way I do it is, it's all about, let's say you were introducing me, Sept, to somebody on the phone. Let's just say it was Jessica, okay? And the bad way to introduce me to Jessica is to say, hey, Jessica, it's Sept. Listen, I've got an expert on the phone I want you to talk to. His name is David Silverman, right? That's a really bad way to do it, because you just ambushed her, okay? A bad way to do it, well, let me tell you the right way to do it. The right way to do it, for one, is I'm on the phone and you say to Jessica, hey, Jessica, it's Sept. It's 3 o'clock. Are you good for the 5 minutes? That's the first thing I want someone to do. She might be in the bathroom, right? She could be walking the dog. She could be having an argument. She could be, and for you to say, hey, Jessica, I've got an expert on the line I want you to talk to, it's really rude. So you just want to say, do you have 5 minutes? If she says no, say, oh, when's good to call back? And then don't even tell her I'm on the phone, right? Just say, okay, I'll call you back in 30 minutes. Now, in 30 minutes, I may not be available. You might have to grab somebody else, right? But you don't just start talking. Secondly, if she says yes, don't ask, how are you? Don't ask, did you watch the video? Don't ask any question, because if you ask a question, she's going to start answering it, right? Well, I'm sitting there listening on the phone, and eventually she's talking. She could go on, and eventually you're going to say, oh, by the way, I have an expert on the line. That's really rude. That's an invasion of privacy. I listened to her conversation. If you say, how are you doing? And she says, oh my God, I've got food poisoning. I've been on the toilet all day and I'm throwing up. And, listen, I have Dr. Silverman on the phone. It's like, it's invasion of privacy. So what you want to do, when she says 5 minutes is good, say, great, listen, before we say you already got her for 5 minutes, right? She locked in. Say, before we start talking, I want you to know, hey, Jessica, this is really important. I want to get all your questions answered. So I brought someone on the phone who is much more of an expert than I am, who is just a really caring person who's helped me help a lot of people already. You know, his name is Ed Wiens. His name is Danny Doyle. His name is whoever. And I was lucky enough to grab him or her because she's really busy helping people all over the world. But I was very, very fortunate to be able to grab them. You build that expert up as just a kind person, honest and helpful. And say, Jessica, I want you to answer. I told you I want to answer all your questions. I can't answer them all, but this is someone who can answer a darn lot more than I can. So Jessica, this is Ed Wiens. And Ed, I told you a little bit about Jessica. I didn't tell you why she's interested in this, so you can find out. But Jessica, this is Ed. And then you're quiet, right? And then you're silent and let Ed engage or wherever it is, just to say, hey. And by the way, the reason I shot the video is so that Ed can do this. Ed can say, hey, it's nice to meet you. I'm here in the U.S. You know, I hear you down there, whatever it is. Hey, listen, I'm glad I could be here for a few minutes because you're going to keep it short. And Ed's going to say, listen, Jessica, I don't know why you're interested in looking at this, but there are basically 6 reasons people look at this, and you're going to tell me your primary reason. And she can go through the 6 reasons again, because it brings the business in without pushing the business. You know, people look at this because they're either sick or they hurt, they got a problem. 2 is they love somebody that does. Now, at that point, I say I looked at it for my father, Jessica, because he was sick. 3 is the anti-aging benefits, because this makes wrinkles go away and even cellulite. 4 is prevention. 5 is athletic performance benefits. And Jessica, because this is patented and it's effective, there's an opportunity here for people that are looking for an opportunity. So tell me why you're interested so we can just answer questions for your reasons, right? So now they've heard the 6 reasons twice. They've heard me say it without pushing it. They heard Ed saying it without pushing it. And now Ed is and you are just going to listen to what Jessica says. We're just trying to find out, does she have an autistic child? Is it arthritis? Is it anti-aging? Does she own a salon and she wants to make money? That's how we really do a 3-way phone call.
That's awesome.
That's great.
Really
Thank you.
appreciate that. There's so many conflicting, how you started off, some people feel a little bit threatened, but that really makes it authentic and respectful. And that sounds really good.
And that's the idea, because the reason people don't do like I say, if you do a 3-way phone call wrong and do it wrong, you have more leeway. You can have more room for error in one where they know someone's going to be on the line, but when they don't know someone's going to be on the line, it's really important to do it really, really well. And that's the way I prefer doing it, but I know a lot of diamonds don't. They want someone to know that someone's going to be on the line, and I get that. I totally get it.
Thanks, Dave.
We're 5 minutes over the time that you said you had for us, so we've kind of we've overspent our allotment here by 5 minutes. So we don't want to take any more advantage of your time. You're there with your daughter. We want to thank you for taking time to be with us today. I know on behalf of all the folks down under, they appreciate your time and your expertise, and we want to release you to go spend the time with your daughter that you're there to do. So again, thank you, everybody. Can just wave, say thanks to David. You'll get to see him at events, conventions, whatever, and just make sure you introduce yourself. And I can promise you, David, that if you ever get a team started in Australia, these folks will honor your who you are, and they will take care of your folks like they're their own, and will respect you know, your team, and they definitely believe in the rising tide raises all ships. So they're stand ready to take whoever you have. They'll adopt whoever you get started down there, right, guys?
Second that all the way.
You know, and by the way, that reputation is known around the world about the team down there. You guys are very highly respected, and I really would like to build a team down there. It's a long way to go, but my daughter's going to be there next semester, and plus I want to see what it looks like to see the water in the toilet spin the other way. I've never seen that, so I'm looking forward to that. So thank you guys very, very much. Love being with you.
Thanks, David. We'll see you in Dallas next week.
You got it, brother. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. Hey, wasn't that great?
That was awesome.
Super guy. So listen, there's a number of things here that Melissa sent to me to make sure we accomplish, but some of you folks as well, I think we want to hear some comments from some of you that are on the screen here. You're an accomplished group. She sent me a recognition report, and I've got multiple pages of it here. I'm looking at it, man. To do recognition for this group is going to take a whole call, just in itself. And but it's just you know, obviously, and David says, well, everybody here on this side of the world is just in extreme awe and admiration for what you guys are accomplishing down there. Tom and Mel, every time I look at the dashboard. And Genie, by the way, the enhanced Genie program is starting to send notifications of new enrollees. And I'm telling you, all through the day and the night, this thing is going off. I have to silence the phone because it's somebody else that the Crouchers are enrolling. And you guys are absolutely sponsor monsters down there. So we want to hear just a few comments from Tom and Mel. You guys had that show in Sydney. And you're obviously, you're bursting during the burst here. So congratulations. Give us a few thoughts from Tom and Mel.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks, Ed. Mel's in putting the bub to sleep, guys, so she may be here in a second. Yeah, the beauty expo that we held, that made us, basically made us do follow-ups. You can't put something like that up and on and not be able to follow up on them. But that was fantastic because the amount of response that we got from it was really sensational. But one thing to lead up to that follow-up, what it taught us too is, guys, when we're talking to people about this business, about this product, keep it really simple. Keep it as simple as you can, because I tell you what, the amount of people that you can get in by just sort of like just saying to them, sticking a photo album in someone's face and saying to them, hey, have you seen what our redox signaling molecules can do for you? That can get so many people inspired, and it's literally given us hundreds and hundreds of contacts. We're just having trouble getting through them all and sort of getting them all sort of signed up and
getting there.
Yeah, getting there. Yeah, but it's fantastic. But it really does make you follow up. There's so many ways you can build this business. You think out of the box. You know, you can do a lot of stuff with it. But you know, I don't know what to say. I mean, just you have to follow up.
Yeah.
You have to follow up. You don't follow up, I mean, it's pointless. We've got, I think we've, you know, registered about 27 or 30 people over the last week and a half, 2 weeks. And a lot of them have got businesses, which is really great. And with following a lot of them up, you tend to know what they want, what they're interested in. Because most people, everybody's interested in their business. Their business comes first because that's what makes them money. That's what feeds their family. So we're going to make sure that, you know, we're not sort of, for us, we don't talk about the networking side of it too much to them. But anyone with a business really cottons on to the fact that if we're pushing it to them, we're making a bit of bucks out of this, that we could probably do this to somebody else. And quite often, a lot of these businesses are saying to us, listen, we'd like to do what you guys want to do. Well, I mean, we're happy to have it in our shop, but we can see a benefit of getting this overseas and getting this around the world. So, you know, that we can't get that without follow-ups. And, you know, forget about ringing somebody once and then sort of trying to give them a call again a couple of weeks later. Give them a call the next day. Give them a call, you know, a day later. People in cities, we have to find they're really busy. So I know when I had a security business, I would take up to 200 phone calls a day. If people give me a call and I wouldn't answer it, more than likely I possibly wouldn't be able to give them a call back because I get so many. So because I was so busy, I wouldn't mind if someone rang me twice a day. So depending on who you are, you know, we're learning a lot. Business people, give them a call twice a day. Give them a call every day. Other people that you're building in a network team, as normal networkers do, you call them every day, you're going to cheese them off if they don't answer. So I suppose there's a lot to learn, but hearing what David said then and how he sets his three-way calls up, fantastic. We do it a little bit different, but in future I think we can try that way that David does, because I mean, most of the time I know that someone's going to be giving us a call with a friend on the line with some kind of problems. And see, that's not invasive because they know that they're calling me. So that's how we normally do it, but there are different ways, and David's way was fantastic. I thought that was really cool. And I think if we can just get everybody together and just take a little bit off everybody, because everyone's personalities are different and we all do different things different ways. But bottom line is, you know, we need a business, you know, we need product going through our business. In order to that, we need people. And to do that, we need to do follow-ups. It's as simple as that.
Well, I've often said about three-way calls, I've heard it said that, you know, the power of third-party credibility is absolutely crucial to your business. And not everybody that does three-way calls is going to earn $10,000 a month. But everybody that earns $10,000 a month does three-way calls. It's just absolutely, they understand the power of third-party credibility. So however you do them, the only wrong way is just don't do them. Other than that, you'll find your way. You'll sharpen the skill to make sure they're more effective all the time. But thanks to you guys, Tom and Mel, we're just in absolute admiration for what you're accomplishing down there. So just keep putting them in.
One more thing here too, and just with three-way calls, and I'll give you an idea, an example. 3 days ago, I had Shelley give me a call. She had a guy that she had met with an oxygen mask in a car the day before, and she had spoke to him, and I knew that they were going to give me a call the next day, so they give me a call. But because this is someone that she just knew, just talked to out of the blue, it's sort of like, I don't normally do that, but I'll give you an example. That should have inspired me a lot, just that three-way call in another way. I was at Bunnings a couple of days ago. I had to go and get a couple of things, and there was a lady there lifting some big bit of timber up, and she had a really sore hand. And she mentioned to the cash teller that she couldn't lift too much up. And I was going to say something. I thought, oh, no, I won't. And then I thought of Shelley and how she sort of introduced herself to this guy with an oxygen mask. So as this lady was walking out, I noticed she walked near my car. And so I thought, bugger it, I'm going to say something to her. And I got a little bit of a tube out of a gel out of my car, or half a tube. And I said to her, excuse me, I said, you mentioned you had a sore arm, a sore hand. She says, yeah, I do a lot of building work and I've put a drop saw through it. And I said, do yourself a favour. I'll give him a card and a bit of a tube. And I said, do yourself a favour. I said, shake this. I said, there's not much in it, but just shake it. Rub it on your hand. I said, and if you feel some effects in 40 or 45 minutes, come and just give me a call. So she asked me what it was. I told her. I showed her a photo album that I had. Then she told me that she lived in a retirement village with 650 houses, that there are over 1,000 people there, varied from all ages. Then she invited us to do a presentation there and also asked us to do a market there in November. So, guys, I mean, little bits of inspiration. It might, you know, you're also helping the people that are sick on the other line. But by jingos, it can do something for yourself too, to give you a boot up the butt. Yeah. So, you know, it can go anywhere we want. We just got to take advantage of every situation that we make.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to do recognition in a moment, but I want to just fast forward to Miss Daya Nyloff, who, as Danny mentioned at the beginning of the call, Diana looked at the Emerging Leaders, which is the fantastic achievements report that we get every week. #1 in the world in Emerging Leaders this last week was Daya Nyloff. So Daya, I think you're there. Congratulations, well done. We want to hear a word from you. Are you there? Are you unmuted? I don't know.
Unmuted
I
now.
am here.
Okay, there you are.
Now you can hear me.
Yes.
It's all about collecting friends, making friends and collecting friends and having them staying your friends, hopefully. So it's again about the follow-up, but it is about making friends wherever you go. That's the basic of it all. A people business, nothing else. For me, the number one of it all together is being a friend and collecting friends.
Well, I've known you a long time, Diane. I know you're good at that. We probably go back 10, 15 years that I've known Dia. And so she's definitely good at making friends and staying friends. And you're the kind of person that will just go out and do what you do. And a recognition ranking like this just comes along and you probably don't even know how you achieved it. But
no idea.
You've just done what you do. So that's awesome. Stevie,
it's a little bit like your telephone. It keeps me awake with saying cling, 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 somebody else enrolled.
Yeah. Those are nice interruptions.
Yes.
Stevie, do you have a list there of some folks that need to be recognized? I want you to go over that if you've got that handy. I think Melissa said there'd be something that you would have. Do you have that?
Yeah, I do. It's a little bit out of order, but I'll do my best.
All right.
So we have there in the and I'm not sure whose team's in who, so I'm just gonna read them all. But top associate enrollers there. We have Alex Debris. We have Chuck. In the emerging leaders. As we just congratulated, we've got Dyer, so congratulations again. We've got Global All Stars. We've got Tom and Mel Croucher coming in there as well. So congratulations, Tom and Mel. No surprise there. We've also got Bari Health, and we have Jonah Rustling. We've got Paula and Barry Julirat. And also Julia Wesley as well. So, so congratulations, folks. That's just Australia. I mean, we've got the page here covered in the United States and all over the place as well. Did I miss one of the United States ones there, Dan?
Sandy Reid.
Sandy Reid. Sorry, Sandy. Congratulations. Well done. Fantastic achievement.
What was the rank, Sandy?
9th emerging leader in the world.
Oh, wow.
Emerging leader,
wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I've got another list here, Stevie, that was an email from Melissa with a bunch of folks that have made bronze and Director 700,
yeah.
Director 300. Do you have that list?
Yeah, I do. Do you want me to go through that now, Ed?
Yeah, run down. Every one of those are just vital benchmarks all the way up the mountain. So if you wouldn't mind, just give us a little rundown of some of the folks that have hit the different levels.
Yeah, you bet. And they're a little bit out of order, so I'm gonna do my best. Starting from Director 300s here, we've got Aileen McDonald. Then we've also got Janet Hunt. We've also got Robin Freeman. We've got Keith Buckley and Mark Hodgkinson. So they're our new Director 300s. Congratulations. Director 700, we've got Director 700. We've got Francesco Di Paola. Hey, sorry if I butcher your name. I'm not that sharp, but just bear with me.
I'm letting you do it.
Yeah, I thought so. I got John Massey, also Irene Harris, and Sharon Bashuzan. There you go. There's a butcher. Lisa, I should know this one. Lisa's in my team. Lisa Tohi Ariki. Hopefully I said that right. Francis Perry. Congratulations, Francis Perry. Francis Perry is doing some monster in-home meetings in conjunction with Lisa there. So she's a bit of an in-house presenting queen right now. She's out doing some of my big meetings that I used to do with Dan. So well done. Also coming in Director 700, we've got Conrad and I'm not going to butcher your surname, sorry, Conrad. And we've got Denise Humphreys East. So, and also Raina. I'm not going to butcher your last name either, Raina. So congratulations to our Director 700s.
All right.
And last but not least, we've got some bronze executives coming up. So Sandra Reed, again, congratulations. Well done, emerging leader and new bronze executive. We've got Karen Thomas, Julia Wesley, and Gary Little. Congratulations to our new bronze executives. Well done.
Fantastic. What a team. What a team.
Yeah, the list just goes on and on and on every week. So
impressive.
Very impressive.
Danny Doyle, I think we need to just hear from you a minute. This is World Traveler Danny. If you guys are on Facebook, you've been keeping track of this guy. He's we have a basketball team here that perhaps some of you heard before, called the Globetrotters, and you're giving a new definition of that, Danny, because you're just the world is your office, and but love to hear just a few thoughts from you.
Your underwear.
Oh, be nice.
We can hear Lorraine and hear your kids. Say hello. Yeah, just going back to what Dyer said, Ed, you know, it's all about relationships, forming relationships, long-term, short-term, meeting new people. We put a lot of time and effort into establishing these relationships and then giving people the information of what ASEA is all about, sending out links, and, you know, all that stuff takes time. It's all the very, very important stuff. But there's only one thing more important. That's what we're talking about today. And that's the easiest thing. You've done all the hard stuff. You've given them the information. But if you don't make that call, if you don't do the follow-up within 24, 48 hours, all that time's been wasted. I've been establishing relationships with people here in Florida for the past 2.5 weeks, a good handful of people in the gym or people I meet in the street. We had a young man over this afternoon. He left about an hour ago. And the great thing is, and this is a one-off for me anyway, this is very, very rare. I said to him yesterday, I'm going to give him a call to meet up with him today, but he got in before me. Very rare. So we're the ones that have got to do the follow-up. We have to pick up the phone. We've done the hard stuff. The hard work's been done, and we've just got to link up. We've just got to check in with these people, see where their head's at, ask them what they like about what they've seen. Ask them what they like about what they've seen, not what do they think, and start getting that conversation with them of what they like from what you have sent them. And it'll just go from there. So, guys, the follow-up is the most important component of this whole business. After you've done all that hard work, do not let it go for any more than 24 to 48 hours. Crucial.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me just say, Danny and I are going to be in Dallas, Texas next week for our North American Envision Conference. And some of you perhaps have been on Facebook. There were several of us as Diamonds, part of Denny Robinson's team. I guess you had Denny on last week, but she's got a fantastic team of Diamonds, Double Diamonds, Triple Diamonds. And there was a group of us yesterday that met and filmed, did a Zoom video of a little promo video talking about the upcoming convention next week. How many of you have seen that little promo video we did?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's interesting when you do get a little peek behind the curtain about what coming attractions are, and I tend to try to not be hypey, and I think it resonates with the culture that I'm comfortable with, that at least that I've experienced down there. You guys, you're not really impressed with a lot of empty promises and a lot of rah-rah. I can tell you that some of the things that are going to be implemented coming up in this next week are definitely worth being excited about, and they're not just empty rah-rah kind of hey, let's go get them empty stuff. This is some real significant changes that are going to be made, some enhancements that are going to make it just what's already is very good a lot better. And you're going to see some benefits to helping develop and accumulate Director 300s. You're going to find it easier for people to reach those levels. You're going to find it more profitable. it's just going to be good. It's going to be really good. So, Danny, you're going to be excited to be there. I know you weren't on the call the other day when we kind of talked about some. Well, you're on the Diamond call, the Global Diamond call, so you know what's coming. And I think you would concur that this is definitely going to be some real positive game changers. Is that right?
Yeah, no, this is going to be the most aggressive campaign the company's ever done in the history. And, you know, the great thing is they've recognised that in order for us to get this to a lot more people, they need to put a lot more meat on the plate.
Yeah.
They need to give us a lot more to be able to build it as a business to get it to a lot more people. So they've recognised this. There's a lot of companies out there with a lot of these enhancements that we haven't had, that they've always had. And now we're going to have an advantage because we've got similar incentives with a phenomenal product.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So stay tuned. Stay tuned to social media. Stay tuned to the Zoom platform, whatever communication venue is coming your way from Dallas this next week. You know, I just wanted to say, you know, Bart and Melissa are not on today, but you guys are so blessed to have folks that are as organized and have so much attention to detail, like they have, like they've prepared. Like all of your documents for the Zoom, for the Burst program are all available on their website. I look at what they put together, and it's just impressive. So they're not on the call today, so I'd brag about them if they were, but I want them to know how you know, just how impressive I think what they put together is, what a benefit that is to many of you on their team to have the resources. So all of the coaching reports, all of the Burst program forms are all available on their website. Our OURBG, OURTBG, our teambuildersglobal.com website just has everything there. So we're at the top of the hour. I'm not sure what all else is supposed to have been covered here today, but I think we filled the hour with some good information. Is there anything? Is Lorraine still on, or did I see Lorraine? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Sorry about that little outburst, kids.
Okay, kids, dogs, whatever. So that's the great thing about Zoom. You can mute when you have to. Where are you going to be the first week of October?
Sept, Utah. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
You're going there? Yeah, you going to that?
I'll be there, Ed.
Okay, who else going to be there? Oh,
I'll
you
be
guys
there.
Yeah, awesome. You guys are gonna love it. You're gonna love it. That's one of the real memorable experiences that Rebecca and I had a year ago was at the Ascent event. So the company's just done such a great job of putting together events that are rewarding, but they're also very inspiring and very motivating, and really just help lock in the culture and you know, the next ascent, the next pinnacle. You know, when you're going through a mountain range, you look around and you see the highest peak around. Well, when you get there, you look around, you'll see another peak off in the distance that's a little higher. You don't always know what's between where you are and what that next peak is, but you just know because there's people already standing up there on that peak. You know, it's possible to get there. And so you just decide, I don't care what we're going to face in between. I don't know what's in this valley down here. I don't know what kind of obstacles, what kind of predators, what kind of opposition. But we're going to get there because there's real people already standing up there, which is proof of the fact that you can get there. When you get there, you're going to look around and see another higher peak. And this is just the way, you know, we respond as people and as companies develop, you know, programs like that. So let me just say that it's an honor to have all of you on this team. It's an honor to be partnered with you. I just delight in the fact that I get a chance to wake up at 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning, spend an evening like this with you folks in your morning. And I can't wait till the fact that I can get back down there and spend some time and meet some of you wherever ASEA takes us in the world. So God bless each and every one of you. And
Well done, Ed.
What's that?
Top job, lads.
Oh, well, thank you, John.
Just quickly,
Thanks,
Ed.
Ed.
I'm wearing my John Allen shirt today.
Good on you, lad.
Yeah.
I've got mine on.
Good for you.
Hey, Ed, this is just a reminder also to recognise this email came through to Sandy today. for registering 6 people for the double the difference.
Oh,
So
yeah.
those people have been recognised now. So anybody on the call that achieved that, well done. It's going to be a phenomenal little program with Tyler Norton.
Yep. Yeah, I got the same email today, so I'm looking forward to that session later this month. So you guys are great. I appreciate every one of you, and have a great week. Look forward to seeing you guys soon in person somewhere, and we'll be back on Zoom together sometime in the next few days.
Thanks, Ed. Well done.
Take care.
Thank you for a brilliant call.
Thanks,
Amazing
Stevie,
call.
for all of your expertise
Stevie.
today. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.